This press conference is designed to add our voice to the many voices out there and bring to the attention of the leadership of our dear nation Ghana, especially one which is under the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and also point out some of the real issues that stands the possibility of destabilizing the peace and prosperity we enjoy as a nation, especially blessed by the Almighty God.
Drug abuse has become a hidden epidemic. Drug abuse no longer is confined to street corners. It has moved into schools, universities, workplaces, and homes. From the abuse of tramadol and codeine, even among health workers, to marijuana, cocaine, and now new synthetic drugs. Our youth are being targeted by a sophisticated trade that profits from despair. What drives a young person to drugs? Often, it is unemployment, no work for lazy hands, peer pressure, broken homes, trauma, and loss of hope. Agenda 2063 calls for an Africa whose development is driven, relying on the potential of African people, especially its women and youth.
As Ghanaians, we have developed a skill called adaptation. And once we adapt, the abnormal then becomes the normal. Let's save our aquatic biodiversities. Let's save our waters and aquatic ecosystems. And let's ensure that the young people are given the needed opportunities. So what are we doing? What are we asking today? We are asking and requesting that government, and for that matter, policymakers, should make this issue a priority. Now, when the flood came, and again I go back to the question of adaptation, as I said, everybody was crying, everybody was, lamenting. The moment the rain stopped, it's as if nothing has happened. As far back as 1960, when the flood was encountered in Ghana. 1960, I'm 62 years old as I stand here. And we are still talking about flooding. Punish those who are destroying the environment. If it means jailing them, jail them. Let's set a good example and let the politicians shut up. Let's do the right thing. And until we tone down the politicking, this Galamsey matter will come and eat us all up. And there will not be any future.
Our children should be protected, yet some are exposed to sexual abuse, exploitation, coercion, and early sexual activities. Ghana recorded more than 15,000 new cases of HIV in 2024, demonstrating that HIV and other STIs remain an important public health concern. We must be clear. Child sexual abuse is not the only cause of HIV and STIs. However, sexual violence and unsafe early sexual exposure can significantly cause an increase in vulnerability. Parents must create a safe environment where children can speak without fear of punishment or shame. Religious leaders and traditional leaders must also use their influence to break the culture of silence and ensure that serious cases are properly reported. NGOs must strengthen community education, survivor support, sexuality education, and safeguarding programs. And we must teach children, your body belongs to you. You have the right to say no. You have the right to speak. And when you speak, you deserve to be protected.
So at ASU, our position has been very simple, that students must be held responsible for their actions indeed, but adults and institutions must also accept responsibility for the environment in which those actions develop. Preparing tomorrow must begin today, And it begins with the kind of young people we raise, the systems we build around them, and the example we set before them.
Preparing tomorrow today, sports as a platform for building responsible, resilient youth. You talk about adaptation. How often can you adapt? As a country, when an incident happens, the next morning, there is a media press, you launch a new NGO, you launch a new facility to ensure it doesn't happen again. But then when there's resilience, you give sustainability to the people who are driving it. Sports gives purpose to young people, young children, regardless of what we call the gender. By purpose, I mean that it gives them the direction, the belonging, and then the positive opportunities that they have. Usually when young people sit in the classrooms and they are scored based on the examination, we call it the normal distribution. The teacher knows who is going to make the A's, who is going to make the B's, who will be repeating, and who needs a reset. But then sports breaks these boundaries. It gives everybody the opportunity to have a level playing ground to express themselves. People who do not say anything in class get to the playing field and say, "Good morning, sir. Well, I know you are my coach today. However, last weekend, the teacher who came in asked me to visit him at home. I need help." Because of the closeness, because they are not bound with the same windows and the number of rows, and they are afraid that they think they are competing with, it gives them the sense of belonging that if this is my target, this is where I can come in and communicate for my need. So it can develop the goals, the routines, the friendship, and the sense of purpose. So although you have people making the A's and the B's, you have people who sit at the rock bottom who are not even supposed to sit there if we are able to revise our teaching methods to have a level ground to redefine their purpose.
The success of every nation is as good as the success of its leaders. And so we say that a healthy leadership leads to a healthy nation. And when leadership becomes dysfunctional, the heaviest price is always paid by the next generation. Rising tides of mental health is something that is heartbreaking. And what is happening within the psychiatric center is this: 70% of psychiatric hospitals inmates are the young people. We do not want to know even about the percentage of those that represent the youth in prisons. Indiscipline and moral compromises are the hymns and songs we dance to every moment in our lives. Now, the constant rise and increase in sexually transmitted disease is crazily deafening. When you travel across the country, our water bodies lose their value as galamsey and environmental irresponsibility keep putting us in a precarious situation. I can go on, but I'd like to state categorically that the root cause of these shoots of problems is leadership dysfunction. Now, to the current leaders of Ghana, would like to remind that your legacy is not measured by the wealth that is accumulated or the titles that we hold. It will be measured by the leaders you develop and the youth you empower. It is time to step down from the high towers of political convenience and serve the people. To the extraordinary youth of Ghana, do not let the current dysfunction convince you that you are helpless. Your self-image is the ultimate lid on your potential. Do not wait for a broken system to give you permission to lead. Lift your lid, embrace intentional growth, and let us work together to build the Ghana that we deserve. Change is inevitable, but progress is intentional.